Hi, I'm Jillian. Ontarians have until December 15, 2018 to provide feedback and comments to the Ministry of Education regarding the public school system. I have just completed the online form and I am both mad and discouraged, so I thought I would share some of my thoughts with you. Firstly, as a research tool, the survey is irresponsibly flawed. It's biased and full of assumptions, and it reveals a particular agenda that leads participants to answer questions in a way that will justify that agenda. So let's not be fooled into thinking that the government is seriously asking for public opinion. I'll illustrate this with some of the questions. The first question: how should we improve student performance in the disciplines of science, technology, engineering, and math, otherwise known as STEM? Well, in and of itself, this question isn't really a problem. The problem is that nowhere in this survey is there any mention of the humanities and arts. And it's widely accepted that a good education balances STEM subjects with humanities and arts subjects. But humanities and arts subjects are not priorities for this government. The question is biased by omission. And in answering it, I am being implicitly led to support a program that prioritizes STEM over humanities and arts. Another question: how should our schools prepare students with needed job skills, such as skilled trades and coding? Two problems with this question. Firstly, the question is confused about the core purpose of schooling by assuming that the purpose is to prepare youth for the workforce. This has not been the purpose of schooling since the industrial age. Most agree that the purpose of schooling is related to facilitating the holistic learning, growth, and development of children to help raise them to be the best versions of themselves so that they might be productive and fulfilled citizens. This includes a range of skills, not only those for the workforce and not only the technical type skills that are given as examples. So in fact, many employees today are actually seeking people with interpersonal skills and executive function skills, social emotional intelligence, critical thinking, inquiry thinking, motivation for learning, adaptability, self-regulation. So the second problem is that it's also biased by omission, by not acknowledging the full range of human skills. And in answering this question, I am being misled regarding the core purpose of schooling, and I'm being led to support the teaching of technical skills only. A third question: what measures can be taken to improve provincial standardized testing? Well, this question assumes that standardized testing should be improved, that it's a good thing, that it adds value to the education of our youth and helps to fulfill the purpose of schooling. There's a lot of controversy around standardized testing, and I'm not convinced that it does any of these things, especially since the trend is to move away from standardized teaching and to accommodate differentiated and more personally relevant learning. There's nothing standard about our kids. And so why are we trying to measure their learning, assuming that that's what these tests do, in a standard way, particularly when the kids are so young in grades 3 and 6? With this question, though, I'm being led to support the idea of standardized testing. A fourth question: what more can be done to ensure students graduate high school with important life skills, including financial literacy? This question equates life skills again with technical skills. As in question 2, it omits identifying interpersonal and executive functioning skills as life skills. Not only are they life skills for post-graduation, but they are required throughout schooling to create and sustain classrooms that are conducive to everyone's learning. So they should be prioritized, not ignored. Yet in answering this question, I am again led to support the teaching of technical skills only. Another question: What steps could schools take to ban cell phone use in the classroom? Well, this question really made me mad. The government obviously wants phones out of the classroom and is looking to justify a decision that's already been made. But smartphones, particularly, are a very useful tool that can be harnessed in the classroom as part of a blended teaching and learning approach. And many progressive educators throughout North America are exploring the range of possibilities. So this can include supporting curricular content, for example, using apps for taking surveys and pop quizzes. It can mean messages regarding digital literacy. What is a reliable resource, for example? And it can include teaching respectful usage of cell phones. When is social media and texting appropriate? Are these not life skills? Banning phones removes these teaching and learning opportunities. So in answering this question, I'm being forced to take a position against the use of smartphones in the classroom, which I disagree with and frankly find disrespectful to students, especially since I doubt very much that teachers will be asked to not use their phones or not have their phones in the classrooms. And the last question that I'll review. How can we build a new age-appropriate health and physical education curriculum that includes subjects like mental health, sexual health education, and the legalization of cannabis? Well, if the other question made me mad, this one made me furious. We had a wonderful, sensitive, respectful curriculum around all of this, which this government just revoked. And you can see my previous video for that. It was balanced and relevant and contemporary, and it reflected Canadian culture and values. It was developed with broad consultation from many stakeholders. So just bring it back. This is political manipulation at its best. Also, why doesn't this question include gender identity and expression and sexual orientation as topic examples? Teaching and learning around these topics is mandated in the Ontario Education Act. Again, this is biased by omission, and in this case, quite seriously so, because I think the bias is bigoted. This consultation process is a sham, and it's unethical. The data collected and the results that will be generated from that data will be flawed. And yet the Ontario government will use those results to justify policy and fund allocation decisions that I believe are regressive and out of step with contemporary education trends and with Canadian values. This will weaken, not strengthen, public education in Ontario.